Yo, 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 welcome in everyone to another edition of Fourth and Goal. It is I, your favorite host with the most, Patty Pitts, and I'm sitting here in the yard of streams with the best of the West. You can never forget, that's right, it is Sara Marshall. What's poppin', Sara? Big news
You
today.
know,
We got a lot going on.
do we? I didn't see
I
anything.
That's shocking.
I've just been playing a lot of Animal Crossing,
Oh, nice.
having a
Okay.
nice, relaxing, lack of NFL news day,
Yeah, it has been really. There's been a lot, but you know what? To some, it's a lot. To others, I know how your feelings are about one news compared to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Since we do things differently here, let's start with your news first because I feel like that's being overshadowed at the moment.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it definitely deserves some recognition, some airtime. So, and you are, I would say, number one fan of the Cam Newton fan club. So, I
Yes.
mean, you got to be through the moon right now.
I am shocked and I'm very excited overall that he's back in the NFL. In case you're living under a rock today, he somehow signed again with the Panthers and signed a 1-year deal worth up to over 10 million, I think. And it's being
Yeah.
reported that they originally wanted to give him for a 2-year deal. So if you're Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
I would be a little bit nervous right now. But anyway, so Cam is back in the NFL. I literally just tweeted yesterday that I wanted to see him back in the NFL because I think there were a handful of teams that could use him. Was not at all expecting that he would be back in Carolina. That kind of seemed like a relationship that was, been there, done that, done and over with. But I'm really happy that maybe they patched things up, worked out their issues. I don't know. Obviously, whatever they do behind closed doors, we're never going to know. But I am very excited that my king is back in the NFL and that it's the week after the Patriots played him because
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we're over with that game because I'm like, not that people, I had someone ask me, like, oh, are you a big Panthers fan now? I'm like, no, I'm a Cam fan. Like, I'm not going to just all of a sudden root for the Panthers, but I'm excited. I don't think he's going to play this weekend. I don't know. I don't think he can because it's Thursday. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see him versus the Bucks too.
Yeah,
because we didn't get to see the Brady versus Cam saga in New England for a while. So I'm excited because I don't know. I was just excited for a lot of Cam games this year.
That was the matchup that you wanted. That you wanted Week 4 to be Cam versus Tom.
Yes,
and
that's what I wanted.
Everyone else wanted Mac. Everyone else wanted what we got.
Yeah, and Cam has always had like Russell Wilson and the Seahawks number. Like he always gave them issues when the Panthers and Seahawks would play. And he kind of gave issues. I mean, if you remember, we were talking like the 2017 game, the last time the Patriots played the Panthers, the Patriots lost. So I think it would have been a good game.
Controversial call. Lost had the game taken out from under them. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could describe that.
Yes, I'm not saying it was a definitive win, but
But I mean, yeah, Cam Newton coming back into the NFL is a good thing. I always thought, and I mean, if you have been listening to the show for a couple months now, you do know that I wanted Cam to get another shot. I didn't think that last year was a good measuring stick for how he would do post injury and everything else. But it was just, when you're outplayed by the rookie, you play, the better hand, obviously. But, Cam Newton could be a valuable asset to a lot of teams that just, play his style of football more than the Patriots do. I can't believe the Saints didn't go after him, to be honest with you. I mean, I will, participate in my Cam jokes and, talk about how, he has a noodle arm or whatnot. But let's get to it. I mean, he's a better quarterback than Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill combined. So by that, like, I don't know what the logic is. And yeah, I feel bad for my dude Sam Darnold. I mean, Callie Will and I feel like we've been in this feud for his entire career now, but the man just can't seem to catch a break. He started the season so hot.
And it makes you, like, someone made a joke on Twitter, which, I mean, it's funny, but it's also kind of makes you think because a lot of people thought that the issue was him with the Jets and the coach of what was the name of the coach of the Jets? I can't think of it right
What
now.
year?
The one that was with
Adam
him.
Gase.
Adam, yeah, why could I not think about it? So
Because he's
people were
very
always,
forgetful. I totally
yeah,
believe it. Yeah.
well, I can see his crazy eyes, but I just was like, I couldn't think of his name. A lot of people put a lot of the blame for how Sam Darnold was playing on Gase, but now you're seeing him kind of revert back to what you were seeing in New York, and now are we all going to start blaming Matt Rule? Like, maybe this is just who Sam Darnold is. I don't know, but I'm
But
excited.
yeah.
Carolina seems excited. I mean, there were already like billboards and like all sorts of graphics being made about he's back. And I'm excited too. Like it made me sad seeing like the huge contrast in the fanship for Cam, like from New England to Carolina. Like
Mhm.
so many New England fans could not wait and just wanted to kick him out the door. And Carolina has been begging a lot of them for him to come back, and they're so excited. So
I mean, it
good
makes
for
sense though
them.
why massholes, like myself and my family, wanted Cam out the door because they're so I mean, in the past 20 years, it was all success. They
Are
were
you
the
implying I'm
standard.
not a masshole?
No, you are, but
Okay,
I'm saying
gatekeeper.
okay.
It's repeating. It's repeating.
I'm more trying to say I'm more hyping you up here over the rest of the clowns here because there's been a standard of success that Belichick and Brady have set here in not only in New England. And Cam Newton comes in, he's the MVP, he's been to a Super Bowl, he's everything that you want in a replacement to a guy like Tom Brady. The problem is that his body, his injuries catch up to him, and no one can understand that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's tough because you want to sit there and say, well, it's because of this, but that doesn't matter. They're not producing. I mean, he had more interceptions than touchdown passes, so that's going to upset the fans. He needs to go into assist, and it wasn't right. I just didn't believe he was right for the Patriots. It's awesome to say that Cam Newton was a Patriot, but at the end of the day, I mean, it seemed like he was just a placeholder.
Well, they did like it seemed like the moves that they made this offseason in free agency was definitely building around Cam and working off of his strengths. So I think that that's why sometimes we see a little bit of the Patriots struggle because obviously when they were building the team, they had already signed Cam and were planning on going with Cam regardless of
Mm-hmm.
who they drafted
Mm-hmm.
a month later. So I really wanted to see how Cam would have done this season. I feel like this would have been a fair shot. And I said at the beginning of the year or the season before he was cut that this would be the season of no excuses. Cam was coming off of a completely healthy year, basically for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
No surgeries, and the team was stacked, or on paper it was. They brought in two great tight ends, good receivers. They had a pretty good draft, so there wasn't going to be the excuses that we had last year. They had no money. They didn't spend any in free agency. They couldn't get anybody, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, at least he's going back to Carolina. That's great. Maybe he can end his career there. And I mean, they have good players. They have McCaffrey. They have DJ Moore. Their defense. They have Gilmore. Like, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
And they're only one game behind in the NFC South. I think
that's
people will
crazy.
forget that.
Well, it's because people want to forget the good that Sam Darnold started at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He
Well,
really had.
it's everyone. I always say this about sports fans. I don't mean to cut you off, but I always say this about sports fans. No matter
Yeah,
what sport it is, they have very short term memory.
very
It's
short term
always
memory.
like day to day. Like people
Oh
don't
yeah.
like to acknowledge what happened a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I get it. That's not helping you now necessarily, but it matters that the Panthers started off as well as they did. Maybe they aren't, the past couple of weeks, but that foundation is still there. You know that what they're capable of, and now that they're going to bring in a more capable quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be interesting to see if they're able to get back to where they started.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold has, is for a couple weeks now. It'll be interesting to see what they do when he comes back fully healthy. Will they be in a position to keep Cam in there and have him lead him to a playoff, or will Sam Darnold finally have his chance to lead a team to a playoff? It'll be very interesting. I cannot wait to watch that unfold. Just like how I cannot believe certain someone
Mm.
just decided to make the same mistake that they made back in 2015, I think 2016, whatever the year was that they traded him.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. is a Ram. The Rams just keep on signing and getting these just legendary players and talent, elite players. And I mean, at this point, I tweeted out earlier, if the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, let alone make it, everyone should be fired. Everyone should be gone from that
Well,
franchise,
and
including Sean McVay.
this is what they have to do though. They have no draft picks. So
Yeah,
they've gotten
that
rid of them
too.
all for like next year and like however many, it's the next few years they have nothing to draft for. So they have to do this. I'm wondering, I want to see his contract because I don't think those details have come out. I also
Yeah.
wonder, how do you have enough money to take on all of these people? Like they have a lot of big names on that team in all aspects of the team, offense, defense, special, like everybody. So it's like, how can you all afford this?
And
I
they
wouldn't
have
be
Goff's. They have Goff's dead weight, dead cap,
Yeah, so it's
and
like,
Todd
how do they
Gurley.
yeah. And Gurley is still a free agent. That
Yeah,
is
that's
insane to me. That's a
ridiculous.
completely different story, but um
Yeah, it's
it's
ridiculous.
crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if OBJ took like minimum money because he wants to play on a team that gets to the playoffs, possibly a Super Bowl. And if he is chasing rings instead of chasing money, then I could see him definitely taking a huge discount to do
Mm-hmm.
that, as players do that at a certain point in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was a little shocked in a way that it was between the Rams and the Packers. I wasn't expecting those to be his like top destinations,
I
honestly.
mean, yeah, neither did I, and it's just one of those things where I read, and I just just am dumbfounded at how I get why he had those two in mind, because you have the gunslinging elite type quarterback, MVP caliber, whatnot. Insert adjective there, but everything he wants is in New England. I'm sorry, and
Mm,
I really hate to sound like a homer bias or whatnot, but it's true. I mean,
mm-hmm,
I wrote that OBJ should go to the Lions. This is not just someone, or my opinion is not just that of a fan of a team. You got to look at how will he do in a system. How will he produce if given the role as a true number one? He
mm-hmm,
can't be that in Los Angeles with the Rams. He couldn't be that in Green Bay. And Green
mm-hmm.
Bay only offered him the vet minimum because they have to worry about Devontae Adams. They have to worry about Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't get why he didn't go to a team like the Patriots. And he could have went to the Saints. Honestly, the only thing that would have made it a better choice than the Patriots is if Jameis Winston was quarterback. Not just Trevor Simeon or whoever, Joe Madden you want to put there. It,
Mm.
it just makes no sense to me why he keeps going to teams that already have an established wide receiving core, and then expecting to just take over and pull Madonna, like, I'm here, bitches, it's my turn. Like, I don't. It makes zero sense to me because it's not logical. It just
And
like I
this
don't
is
get
why
it.
I'm thinking that it's possible he's chasing a ring.
Well, I
Like
get I
maybe
get that,
it
but
just
why
he
leave
doesn't
Cleveland?
strike me as that type of guy though, because everything that we've ever seen when he had issues in New York and when he had issues in Cleveland, it was he wasn't getting the ball enough and he wanted to be able to be like a wide receiver one, and he didn't feel like he was being treated that way. And obviously you're going into a team now where Cooper Kupp is killing it
He's supposed to break
already.
every record, every
Yeah.
wide receiver record that Calvin Johnson broke in
Mm-hmm.
2012. And
Yeah.
what's the
And
common denominator? I
yeah,
mean,
so it's like, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I guess they'll have to he'll have to compete with Robert Woods, I guess, maybe for wide receiver 2 and see how that goes. I don't know. I mean, like, we're already going into week 10, so Stafford is definitely going to be comfortable with what he has.
absolutely.
That chemistry is not going to be there between him and Odell yet, and you can't force it. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it maybe takes for them to gel and like get things going. But the Rams are definitely not a team that needed him. So
No.
I'm just surprised all around. I'm surprised that the Rams were interested. I'm surprised that Odell was interested. Um, I feel, yeah, I don't know. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, like you said, you don't want to
it's
be a
funny.
homer for the Patriots, but when you were thinking about places that seem to fit him, the Packers and the Rams were not where I was expecting him at all.
I mean, the Patriots are trotting out Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar as their wide receiver ones.
Yeah,
And
he would
sorry,
have
I love
walked in the
Jacoby.
door and been wide receiver one.
Yeah, I love Jacoby one Kenobi, but at the same time, the force might not be with him yet. The man can't
I'm
get in the end zone for a touchdown. He has over 1,000 yards in his
yeah.
entire career and can't score.
I'm
That's
surprised
not
that
a wide receiver one.
yeah, I'm surprised that there wasn't more like rumors there. Like of course we saw all the rumors that he has so much respect for Belichick, blah blah blah. It's not a rumor, but that and
Yeah.
that was why he was considering New England. I mean, I even thought he would possibly go to Tampa. Like I didn't believe Arians yesterday, when he was like, "Oh, we already have an AB, we don't need an OBJ." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, you
that's
also said
classic
you weren't
Bruce.
going to sign Antonio Brown." And then you
Yeah.
did like the next day. So I was just like, they probably have already talked to him.
Oh, it's
Um but I was
quiet.
thinking, yeah, New England for Belichick, Tampa for Brady. I thought that he might give it more than a day, but this is what I'm saying. He's probably been being recruited for a while
Oh,
now. I
absolutely.
mean, he was
Oh,
already Von Miller posted on Instagram them FaceTiming. I'm like, I don't think this is your first conversation.
no, and I was like, this not a chance. Like, please no, stop it. And what happened? I mean, it happened. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, here's a pickup bet for you, a pickup prop that hopefully our boys at Pickup are listening to. Shout out to our friends at Pickup. Go to playpickup.com right now, make an account, play the headlines, and earn rewards by playing the hottest headlines matchups uh, for the grand price in total of $0 and earning more than that. So go to playpickup.com and follow them on Twitter at playpickup_ to know when those bets goes live. Go pick up your phone and play today. Who do you think has a better, I'll say from week 10 to week 18, OBJ or Jacoby Myers?
Ugh. Hmm.
I almost said
That's
Aguilar, but I think Jacoby's just a better.
well, can Odell play this weekend?
I
That would
don't
be
know.
that I don't
That would
know.
play.
That's the thing is like I'm confused about like even with Cam, like I think that they can't play yet. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure. I mean, Odell was playing this season already, so maybe it's different because he was already like playing this year. I don't know, but if he plays week 10, it's kind of hard to say. Like I believe in Jacoby, but like you said, he hasn't gotten in the end zone, and that's not all of his fault. I
No,
mean,
not at
there
all.
has been misses, of course, by Mac, but also by Cam last year. So I feel like the easy answer is to say Odell simply because we know that he can score touchdowns, like, and he's going in there wanting to play for this team. So, that's not the same attitude that he's had for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree, and I'm gonna go with Jacoby Myers because this just seems all too good to be true. It
Yeah.
seems like it was written by someone who loves happy endings
Mm-hmm.
because this is just not, in reality, not going to work out for OBJ. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to work out as in they won't win the Super Bowl. I'm more talking about his individual performance, and he's
Yeah.
going to be treated like a wide receiver 3. Van Jefferson has already established himself as a role player that can contribute.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all. Like you're not going to walk in the door and push Cooper Cup down. Like it's just like you're like it just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah,
This is what I don't understand. Like I think I talked about it on here like with Jimmy Graham. Like he was
yeah,
a very dominant tight end, and then once he was able to pick and choose where he wanted to go, he kept going to teams that did not utilize tight ends. And so now he's like
yeah,
fallen off the face of the earth because he keeps going to teams that don't use tight ends. So it's like, again, why would you do that? Why do you keep going to teams that don't use you? Like, go to a
exactly.
team that uses tight ends, and then we would be talking about Jimmy Graham every week. This just
I
seems like
know.
another one of those situations where you're purposely putting yourself in a situation that doesn't fit you. But
Oh,
maybe we're
absolutely.
wrong. I don't know.
Hopefully, we are. And then one more news tidbit to dive into before we get into our games of the week. The Lions they may not have signed OBJ, but they did get some help with the receiving core that they so desperately needed. Josh Reynolds is now a Detroit Lion after being released by the Titans. It was a mutual release from what I saw on Twitter, what we saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw he
And
asked for it,
yeah,
but yeah.
and I'm not going to lie. I think this might be a better move for the Lions than signing OBJ.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams were probably a little bit hesitant for OBJ just because obviously we've seen the issues that he's had off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And the attitude issues, which I feel like weren't really that big of an issue in Cleveland until the end, like this past
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks. I don't think that was ever an issue. We didn't see him getting into a fight with a goalpost, you know, like we did in New York. We didn't see that. So I don't think that that's relevant, but I think, you know, that's in people's minds still. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that maybe Detroit took into consideration. And obviously Reynolds is probably looking somewhere where he feels like, again, to use that word, he's going to be used and utilized. And this seems like a good place for him to go. I mean, he was going to be down the depth chart in Tennessee when you have AJ Brown out there absolutely killing it every week, basically. So maybe he'll like it in Detroit.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now. What was this? Josh Reynolds. I thought that I'm not gonna lie here. I looked up his stats to try to see the comparison with how he played with Goff last year, and he had one catch for 5 yards. So
Okay.
you know, but they put, but it's still that familiarity, that he had developed with him in practice. And it's a bigger target. I mean, Khalif Raymond is a slot guy who, fits a Julian Edelman role and mold more than a bigger guy, a deep threat. Josh Reynolds is a very talented wide receiver. When he was signed by the Titans, I actually had him in as my sleeper of the year because, yeah, AJ Brown's great and going to be and is showing now that he's a dominant number one. But then they added Julio Jones, so he didn't have that chance to, shine as a number two. And if he never had a role in that offense since then, he comes into a role in Detroit where he could really be utilized and really have success as a deep threat for Goff. That's the one thing that Goff needs is a deep, reliable, big target to throw at that's not TJ Hawkinson.
And you know that someone likes the situation when they sign with a team that hasn't won a single game this year.
Oh
this is
God,
a guy
absolutely.
that's obviously trying to, from what we can tell, look at the teams that he had the opportunity to possibly sign with and is trying to evaluate his place in that team and what he could contribute and what they could do for him as well. I mean, how many people request to be released and then go sign with a team that's way worse than the team that they were just on? That doesn't happen. So obviously I think that he was looking at this from like a smarter perspective than,
absolutely.
Some people might be like, why would you do that? But I mean, you have to think about your place on a team. And if you don't like your current place because you're not really being used, you're not going to go to another team that you're just going to be a bench warmer as well. That doesn't make any sense.
He's going to be thrown right into the ringer from the jump. There's no other way to describe it because the Lions need to do something. And there is, but here is the thing. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The Lions can still finish above 500 this season.
Yes. Yeah, because there's more games left than,
I mean, let's Dan Campbell effect. I think he's going to come back with this new attitude. I mean, Campbell's been the brightest spot of this entire team.
I think he was a good hire. He seems very invested in the team and the players too, and I think that's important. And it seems like that's something that's been lacking in Detroit for a while. I think that obviously it depends on what type of coaching style you like. We're obviously used to Belichick, who seems very like, cold and very serious, but it seems like most players who know him and get to know him and play for him for a while, they know that he's a nice guy and like he's stern, but he has expectations, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But Campbell just seems like, I don't know, just very passionate and like invested in all aspects, emotionally, mentally, even physically. I mean, things that he talked about, like drinking how many coffees. It's like, how are
Oh, he
you?
drinks as much coffee as I do. It's
It's
unbelievable.
insane.
I
I
love it.
liked it, like when he got teary over their loss. Like, to me, like maybe some people
I
are
did.
making fun of that. I thought it was kind of cool because you don't really see coaches care that much. Like a lot,
No.
especially in the NFL where coaches get paid so much money, you never see them ever show that type of emotion over anything except for a win. You
Oh,
don't really
absolutely.
see that type of caring. It's usually like anger, if anything, after a
Oh, yeah.
loss. So
Yeah, it's going to really be it's going to be interesting to see what happens after their bye week, because oh man, they need something, because this is
mhm.
not the same Lions teams as years prior, but they're kind of on that path to being one, and
Mhm.
that's what hurts the most this season.
Yeah.
But well, it's gonna be a fun week. There's a lot of good games on tap. Sunday should be filled with a ton of just excitement and a lot. I'm going to say after last week, a lot of shock, because last week was one of the most ridiculous weeks of football I've seen. I mean,
Mm.
rewatching all those games, I felt like, just anything could happen. I mean,
Mhm.
we walked in to the week having 6 divisional leaders up in the, I think it was a 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever, and they all lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could that happen this week? Who knows with these matchups? I mean, could the Dolphins take down the Ravens tonight? Who knows? Let's
Jacoby
see.
Brissett is starting, they just said.
Breaking news. Breaking
Mhm.
news. Jacoby Brissett is starting. Are you starting Jacoby Brissett in any sort of fashion? Maybe not in your leagues, but maybe I'm more. Let me rephrase that for a second. Would you start Jacoby Brissett in a DFS single game lineup tonight?
I don't think so. It's possible. Okay, if we think about it from this way, because if we want to look at it last week, right? They were getting
Yeah.
completely dominated by Minnesota. And then they held Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
to doing absolutely nothing to the point of going into overtime. So um it's possible. I mean, the Ravens did not look very good last week. So the Dolphins have a chance to kind of have that kind of happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dolphins will dolphin. So it's kind of hard to predict what type of Dolphins team you're going to get week in and week out. It's hard. I mean, I'm already like questioning with the Dolphins that I am starting tonight in fantasy. Like, if it was a good, I even texted you and asked you if I should start Gaskin. I'm like,
I
I
know.
don't know. I have him in, but yeah, no, it's kind of, it's scary. You don't
No,
know.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I take fantasy too serious anyway. Like,
What?
well, I'm only in
No,
3
stop
leagues,
it. You're in
but
3. I'm in 13.
I know, but like I just get so sad. Like, I've already threatened to, like, so I made a league, I think it was like week 7, I think. Yeah, or whatever. This is the 4th week, so it must have been week 5, week 6. And I was like, you know what? I want to make another league because I'm doing so badly in the 2 that I'm
Mm-hmm.
in. I'm 0-3 in that
Yeah,
league.
that
And
team is there's no way you're 0-3. That I don't believe that.
I can show it. I'll show you right now.
List it off right
I'm
now.
I
List
am
off your team.
I've threatened to my sister anyway, because my sister's in that league. I've threatened to delete the league because I'm like, this is not fun for me.
Not having fun here.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not having, and that's, I have the name, my team's name, or the league's name is Last Chance League, because I was like, okay, this is our last chance. Let's
Really
see,
putting
can
it
you
all out
see
there.
it? Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
read off the team. Read off the team for us.
0-3.
All right.
Well, this is okay. I'll read everybody. So I have Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones. I just got Javonte Williams because I needed him.
Good
CeeDee
pickup.
Lamb,
Good
Michael
pickup.
Pittman Jr., Mark Andrews, DJ Moore, Titans defense. I have Tyler Bass as my kicker. On my bench right now, Mike Williams, Sterling Shepard, Aaron Rodgers, Mike Gesicki, and then I just picked up Pat Freiermuth,
Fryermuth.
and Derrick Henry on IR.
Yeah, like
This is my 0-3 team. Probably gonna go 0-4.
that's brutal. I don't get
It's
like
very.
that's
I
ridiculous.
just am like, do I just suck at drafting? Like what?
No, I think
I
that's
even
just been
have
the common
one.
theme this year. Is that just it's been just very random in how teams perform. I could list you off probably I would say one of my better teams, and we're 1-7, 1-8, uh,
It's just
and
rough.
I'm 8-0 in another league, and that's a league where Derrick Henry was my lead guy. For God's sakes, I
Yeah.
named my team King Henry's Court Jesters. Now we're just a bunch of court jesters
Yeah.
hoping to try to make it into the playoffs and win.
Yeah. Waiting for
And
your king to return.
or find a new one. I mean,
Yeah.
Nick Chubb's kind of taking that role though now. I don't know
We
about
don't
this
want.
week,
We
but
want him out this week.
but I mean, I need
I mean,
wins.
it's gonna be.
I
I
need
feel like I
wins.
already have a video for my stream on Saturday, or yeah, it's like battle of the non-existent running backs because like both teams right now have like no running backs going into this game on Sunday.
Yeah, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson both were not at practice today, and
They haven't even updated us. They said that they had concussions, but they never said that they for sure had concussions or if they were in concussion protocol. It's just like so Stevenson concussion, Harris concussion,
yeah,
and then Gunner concussion. I was like, when have you ever seen that? 3 players on a single team in one game got concussions.
I just do not want to see Brandon Bolden trot his ass on the field. I
I'm
hate when he gets on the field.
But he's been playing pretty
I
good.
don't care. He's
And JJ
annoying.
Taylor.
Yeah, he's out.
Well,
He's out.
that's who we got right now.
I
So
mean, if JJ Taylor plays, I am all on Team JJ. But until
yeah,
then, we need. Oh God, I love Stevenson. He was going to be so. I just don't understand. I just whatever.
our
The point
baby blunt.
is, and then if we could get him back, that'd be great. But the Browns, you mentioned it, they're not. Patriots aren't the only team with running back issues. Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton both on the COVID list, and then Kareem Hunt still dealing with the
Yeah, they said he won't return.
ankle injury. He's not complaining. Yeah, you're right. They did say he's not going to play this week. So the only running back is Dearness Johnson, and you
Which
dropped
I
him.
was a big fan of him that one week.
Yeah, but what
But
happened?
I'm not a fan this week.
I mean, yeah, true, but I wouldn't even start any Browns. I
Well,
wrote in my
and
start
that's
sit to not start any Browns this week.
yeah, and I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I understand like people who have Chubb and Kareem Hunt and whatnot in their leagues and on their teams that they're going to want to look for another running back. So people are like, everyone go get Johnson. And I'm like, guys, I'm not saying that the Patriots aren't going to allow a bunch of points or yards, but have you seen what they've done for running backs this year?
Oh,
Like
shut
how
him
they've shut down Ezekiel Elliott. They just shut down Christian McCaffrey. Like you really think Dearness Johnson's going to walk into Gillette and just dominate?
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
not
mean,
gonna
even if it were
happen.
Nick Chubb, it's completely possible that Nick Chubb, if he plays, could go off. Like it's possible.
Oh, no, it's
But
possible, but
but the Patriots have been really good at stopping the run and have shut down some really high profile running backs in the league. So I just don't know what this hype train is about getting Johnson this week. Like,
yeah,
are we
there's
not
so
paying
many
attention to
more.
who they're playing?
Yeah, there's so many better options instead
Yeah.
of Johnson. Haha, that kind of rhymed a little bit. Let's just go look. I mean, right now, before we dive more into the Thursday night game. Let's see here. Let's go. All right, we'll go into the King Henry Court Jesters League. Yeah, I mean, I have Nick Chubb aimed it. Oh God, we got to make some adjustments here because I'm pretty sure the best running back I have this week, matchup wise, is Naeem Hines. So that's going to be
Mm.
fantastic. Can't wait for that. But let's look at the running backs right now. I mean, Devonta Freeman is around. Jordan Howard is still available. I mean, how many leagues? He's available. He's only rostered in 32.5% of ESPN leagues, and he's had 15 or more fantasy points since the Miles Sanders injury. Like, what? I don't know how he's still. I'm adding him. Screw that. And you should too. Oh my God, why is no one doing that?
Freeman?
No. Jordan Howard.
Oh, Jordan. Sorry, I was like
Yeah, because I mean,
looking.
he's
I'm
had
trying to
15.
open my 3 leagues so I can see what I have going on here.
God, yeah, we're terrible there. That's not good. My lineup there. That's brutal. And then Tony Pollard. I mean, he's actually the better running back on the Cowboys. Brandon Bolden. Let's see how many leagues he's rostered in. He's available in almost 90% of leagues.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
he's
it's because
going
even
to
when he's playing well, he usually doesn't get a lot of points. But that's just kind of how it is with a lot of Patriots players.
Mhm.
Other than my superstitious brain not wanting to roster Patriots players, they're also not historically known for being great in fantasy. So
Yeah. I mean, Devonta Freeman's playing tonight against Miami. It might be, if you're listening to this now, watch us now, and you do have a dilemma like we do with our lineups, I would definitely play him this week. I mean, Miami's defense has been kind of shitty this year, not going to lie.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I would play the flyer on that, especially if you are dealing with injuries like we are. So, uh, you know, but we're sticking with, as we are talking about this game, let's just stick right into it. I think the Ravens are just going to mollywop the Dolphins. I'm sorry. I just do not think this is going to be an entertaining game. It's going to just be very one-sided. And if you have Lamar Jackson, I would put the key to turn the key, lock him in your lineup, and then swallow or throw away the key. Because this guy, he's been incredible this year. I
I
mean,
have him in 2 of 3.
all right, there's a 66% chance that you're going to win. So who knows?
Well, at least for quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's as
I
must
I
luck as
also
you can
have
get.
Mark Andrews in, which scares me a little bit.
Why?
Um, because he's not getting like 40 points like he has. He's not been like amazing the last game 2 games.
Well, yeah, it was right after he played the Maniac and kind of.
Um, but yeah, other than that, I have Gesicki and Gaskin in my league that I'm 4 and 5 in. The struggle. I'm
That is
4
a
and
struggle.
5, 5 and 4, and 0 and 3. So killing
No,
it. I'm a fantasy
yeah,
queen. I'm so
yeah,
good at this.
we're doing fine. Would you? So I'm at the goal line stand. I'll be filling out my DFS lineup. So we'll talk more about this game when we get to that. We got Jacksonville though,
Mhm.
kicking off the Sunday slate against division rival Indianapolis. Indianapolis comes into this one as 10.5-point favorites. Who are you
That's
sitting? Who are you starting? And who are you taking a shot on? Who's a long shot?
Well, for the Colts, obviously I don't hate starting Carson Wentz. He's actually been doing really well, so
Incredible.
that's keep him in. Obviously Jonathan Taylor. I don't hate Hines either. He actually did really well last week as well on top of even Jonathan Taylor.
Mm.
I don't have a single Jags player, believe it or not. I
Would
don't
you
have any of them.
would you start James Robinson?
If he's healthy, yeah. But I mean, because I feel like he's just kind of one of those players that you probably don't necessarily love the matchup, but when you bench him, he goes off.
Mm-hmm.
You like
Yeah.
end up regretting it. He's kind of like one of those players. My sister has him, and she
Yeah.
does that. So I mean, I don't know if is he playing?
James, yeah, from what I've
Oh,
seen,
okay,
he's been at practice. He's been
because I know he's been dealing with
good.
some sort of
He
injury, but
he did not. I don't think he played last week, or if he did, it was very limited. And then the other player I would maybe start, Jamal Agnew, just because
mm-hmm.
he's been seeing a lot more targets as of late and capitalizing on it. I think he's had a couple weeks over 10 points. But the Colts secondary has been pretty decent so far. I would pretty much be, playing the matchup there. That's my advice for that.
I think it might be a better game than people think too, possibly. I was so wrong when I said this last week, but the Jags just did a killer job at stopping the
Yeah,
Bills.
yeah,
So, I mean, maybe it was a one-off game. Maybe the Bills were struggling after a bye week and maybe the Jags were just having a good day. I don't know, but they're division rivals, which usually divisional games are more difficult. This doesn't matter their records and
yeah,
whatnot. But I mean, for either fans of either team, I hope for your sake that it's a much better game than what the line says.
yeah. I don't think that the Jags are going to kind of come down like a hangover from last week and their win
Mm-hmm.
against the Bills. I think it's going to actually be, motivating for them to go on some sort of run. Problem
Yeah.
is that the Colts are playing just as well, if not better than them at the moment. And Carson Wentz, you said it. I mean, I would start Carson Wentz in every single league. I had him as my MVP going into this year. He didn't start out too hot, but he's been a serviceable quarterback to start week to week. I think he's pretty much finished as at least inside the top 10 quarterbacks the past couple weeks. And if you can get that type of player who's still on the waiver wire right now and lock him in your lineup against a team like the Jaguars,
Mhm.
I mean, I would definitely take that. And then obviously, Pittman, Hines, I
Oh,
would
that's
absolutely
right. How did I
start.
forget Pittman?
Yeah, he's on your team.
I know. How did I forget that?
I
I don't know.
mean, that team is pretty forgetful though at 0-3.
It's
But that's
0
the
and
thing.
3.
It's one. Yeah, but this is the thing. It's a forgetful team at 0-3, but like stars everywhere. So it's like
I know. It's a struggle.
it's one big paradox.
Mhm.
That's tough. But I mean, Hines, even though he is an RB2, he still plays and produces like an RB1. So I definitely start him, especially at the flex. He's a decent flex star for me.
Mhm.
This is going to be interesting. Oh, actually, I thought we were going to go with the Falcons Cowboys, but the next game on tap is actually one that we've already dove into a little bit with the Patriots and Browns. The
Ooh.
Patriots, I think, are favored at a pick 'em at 1.5. I would slam the Patriots there because the Browns, as much as they are a playoff contender, they have the talent around Baker. They have no running backs this week, and if you there's one thing that you
Not
need,
at the moment.
not yet. We'll have to see if they pass and can play on Sunday. But that's one thing you need to beat New England is you need to have a balanced offense, and if you don't, you got to have a fully loaded backfield, and the Browns don't fall into either category. I think that it's going to be a big win for the Patriots, if not a massive statement win for the rest of the season.
I hope so. I never go into games confident. Like even when they were playing the Jets, I think that was the game where I was like, I think it's going to be a better game than you think, and then they ended up blowing them out
It was
54-13 or whatever, and I'm like,
yeah.
I look like such an idiot. So, I never go into games feeling overly confident. That's just I think that's just how I emotionally handle the
Makes sense.
results of
Yeah,
games.
yeah. People deal with
Yeah,
it differently.
anxiety it just kind of helps.
It's a thing.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting this to be an easy win by any
Mm-hmm.
chance. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the running backs because they do have 2 days left, I think, to um activate
Yeah.
them either from the COVID list or getting them off the injury report.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to affect the Patriots as well, though, if they only come in with Bolden and JJ Taylor. I think that's a huge hit for them.
That is, yeah.
But our defense has been killing it, and I think that Browns fans are really overlooking the Patriots. They think that they're going to come in and just completely dominate them on all aspects, and I just think that's kind of a little ridiculous because you
Yeah.
have to remember at the same time it's still the Patriots, it's still at Gillette Stadium. Like
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter that the Patriots have only won once at home. Like you're still the Browns. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's
still Belichick.
no,
Like
absolutely. And that's I think one storyline that a lot of fans or just anyone into this game should look at is that both teams have not only a strong defense, but they're both well balanced. They both have great secondaries. Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome have really caused a lot of problems for opposing offenses this season. And then on the Patriots side, you have J.C. Jackson, Adrian Phillips, obviously McCourty back there. But then the pass rushers on both sides. I mean, you have the league leader in sacks, Myles Garrett, and then Judon's not far behind him.
mhm.
And they're going to be on the same field. And Matt Judon, I keep seeing this, and I want to make a statement. I want to declare something
Oh.
right now. I want to go Michael Scott and declare not bankruptcy, but recognition. Matt Judon deserves to be considered in the Defensive Player of the Year race. The man has been an absolute force this year for the Patriots. He's easily been the best signing out of all of them so far.
Almost for a few years. It's been
It's
like
incredible.
yeah,
He's been
and
so good. Like it's just one of those things where he's disrupting quarterbacks in the pocket, but not only that, he covers a lot of ground on the field. He can be on one side of the field, and the ball carrier, receiver, whoever can be on the other side. He's going to catch right up to him and make the play. It's something that few teams have in a player like that, and I really think he gets the short end of the stick more often than not when people leave him out.
I think a part of it is because he's on the Patriots. I really
Well,
think that's
obviously.
what I mean. That's what it is. But
Yeah.
also, um, imagine how much better his stats would be, and they're phenomenal as they are, if he wasn't held on almost every single
Oh,
play.
it's unbelievable.
Just
It's
imagine that. And it's like,
unbelievable.
I know that people want to say that, when it comes to holding, especially, people nitpick, and I get it.
Yeah.
But like, no, there are so many calls that are not. I mean, I've said it too. Holding happens on every single play.
Every
It doesn't
play.
matter. But the problem is there are far too many instances with Judon that it's being held by his neck. That's the issue. That's
Yeah.
why
Oh, I
people,
know. Yeah.
Patriots fans say it, because it's like, this is ridiculous. So imagine how many more sacks he could have, or how many more quarterback hits or hurries. Like, just imagine what
Yeah.
his stats would be if that wasn't. I feel like Judon was like a liked player before he came to the Patriots, and now it's just like, it's more fun to be like, no, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt and Trayvon Diggs, just because he had however many interceptions, even though he's going to allow like 1,300 yards.
Gajillion
It's
yards.
like,
Yeah.
it's just whoever the flavor of the week is, as long as it's not a Patriot. I mean, they were trying to fight Stephon Gilmore being Defensive Player of the year he actually won. They
Yeah.
didn't want him to win. They were all saying TJ Watt. So
Which, I mean, to be fair, that is a good argument. The problem is that I think,
I mean, that season it
Gilmore's
was
a little bit more
single-handedly Stephon Gilmore. There was
yeah.
no like, it was, but because he was a Patriot, it's like, well, we want to go with these other names because we don't want him, because he's on the Patriots. It's like, I think that's part of the reason why Judon's not being talked about, which is whatever. We can keep him
We
to
win
ourselves then.
championships, not individual awards. That's what we
Yeah.
come to do, and that's what we, have been doing for the past couple decades. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, we can both agree here. Patriots gonna win this one, and start your obvious. Here's something: deeper league, 14-team league, or if you just lack depth at all or dealing with injuries, would you start Kendrick Bourne?
Maybe. It seems like his connection with Mac is a little bit better. It seems like him and Aguilar are his favorite deep threats, which I was hoping was going to be the case. But it's, again, like I said, it's so hard to predict because they can get like 1 or 2 catches a game and that's it. It's like there's never really a game where they're getting. I mean, I think that they said, I said this on my stream last week, that this is one of the longest in a season that the Patriots have gone without having a player, a receiver, have 100 yards in a game. So they're really spreading the ball around. And so it's like, I just wouldn't recommend any Patriots player, if I'm being honest. Like,
all right.
I
would agree with you there. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's too hard. Like, they're not a team that, it's not a Tyreek Hill. They don't have a Tyreek Hill where they're giving him the ball on every single play, every single passing play. They use everybody. So
yeah, it's not, a dominant offense by one player or another. It's really,
right.
It's what they do. It's a team effort. I mean, they don't, and I think that may be one reason why OBJ may not want to come there, but who knows? That's a conversation for a different day. Just like we have a different conversation right now with the Falcons flying down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And that spread is Dallas favored at 9 points.
I'm shocked it's that large. Like, that big of a lead.
Yeah, I would. I mean, look what happened last time the Falcons played the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened to the Cowboys last week.
I know, that was bad.
I mean, they need this game to bounce back and to be taken seriously, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
To be in that Super Bowl contenders conversation again. But if they have a repeat again of last week, then I think you start to question how healthy is Dak. Because like I said, I started questioning that last week when I was seeing the updates on that game. And I was wondering if they rushed him back or if he rushed himself back. Maybe he's dealing with injuries more than we're being told. I don't know. But I mean, it was a complete 180. Like, he was going from how he played in New England, which was like completely on fire, to what happened. Like, where this is like an imposter Dak. This was not the same dude that was, from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the Broncos defense is pretty good this season too, even without Von Miller. Their secondary, I think, is one of the more underrated in the league, thanks to Justin Simmons. when we look at this matchup this week, it's a different defense with the Falcons. I think they have a much weaker secondary than
Hmm.
the Broncos do, so that helps. Anyone wanting to start a Cowboys player, I'd start all your Cowboys this week, even Tony Pollard. This is definitely going to be a not revenge, a vengeance game for the Cowboys because the Falcons are flying high right now, no pun intended, but as much as Matt Ryan, will produce still, and I think still be fantasy relevant on the day, I'm gonna lead my gut's leaning towards the Cowboys, and how they're gonna bounce back from last week. Because I mean, if they don't, then that's another conversation that we kind of have to bring up next week.
Yeah, I think they then kind of get kicked to the side in the
Oh yeah,
NFC. I mean,
Ooh,
why wouldn't you? I mean, it's possible, obviously. Anything is possible. But
KD baby.
you don't go from being like, the lead in the NFC to then losing 2 weeks in a row to teams that you should have very easily beaten.
Yeah, yeah. It's I
And
just hope the Cowboys come back from this because
yeah, I mean,
this is
and
not
I'm
gonna be
kind of
good.
nervous for the Patriots because we play the Falcons next week on Thursday
I'm not
night.
worried in the slightest.
I'm
I
just
I'm not.
worried
Let's
because
not.
I just get worried every week. But
Yeah,
my
we
boy
know.
Cordero Patterson is on the Falcons, so I'm excited to be able to watch him
You're
because I
starting
love
him.
him.
You're starting him.
Oh
He's
yeah.
usually been incredible. He's been.
Although I would probably question starting him against the Patriots. I would probably, because I have him in
I
one of
mean,
my
that just
leagues,
yeah.
I would probably take him out.
Especially with that team. Yeah. No,
Because I,
totally.
I can't do it. Like I even hate having players in that play the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Like I kept
No.
CD Lamb in. I think did I play CD Lamb when he played the Patriots?
Hopefully, because he actually
I
looked
might not
popped.
have. Oh my god.
That's brutal. Ugh.
I don't remember. Mistakes are made. This is why I'm 0 and 3.
But you definitely gonna play him this week. I like that. And we
Yes.
got the Cowboys, both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not beat around the bush here. Bills, Jets. I do not see the Jets beating the Bills. I'm sorry, I
What's the
don't.
line on that one?
13 and a half Bills. Maybe they'll
Wow.
cover because the Jets and future Hall of Famer Mike White will be, I would say, give him a competition, give him a little game. But at the end of the day, the Bills are definitely going to take this one.
They need it too.
Oh,
Like we were just
absolutely
saying about
need
the
it.
Cowboys, they
Oh, for
need this. I
sure.
mean, it's a divisional game, so I mean the Jets are last anyway. It's not like need
Hmm.
this to win the division, but use this as a stepping stone for the week 11 to get back on
Hmm.
track to being a favorite in the AFC as the Bills were. I mean,
Oh,
they looked
absolutely.
horrible last week.
Yeah, they did
Not
not
even
look
scoring
good.
a touchdown.
Yeah, Josh Allen looked awful.
He
Like
looked
one of the
like
worst games
yeah,
I've ever seen him play.
yeah, very odd. Another team coming off a bye and looking bad.
I know. Yeah, it's that bye week. Who knows? I mean, we'll have to see what happens this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. Yeah, Bills. Everyone, let's not get
Hmm.
fancy with it. New York Jets. Michael Carter and Corey Davis, and even Jamison Crowder. I'll throw those three. Those are
If
my
you
three.
have to,
If you have to,
because
because
I
they
wouldn't
are
recommend it.
playing the number one defense against the pass, especially two fantasy wide receivers. Problem is that bye weeks get in the way.
Yeah.
That's a real issue that we have to deal with week in and week out. So if you can, if you have to, then do it. But look elsewhere. So Saints, Titans, the hottest team in the NFL right now after beating the Rams last week. They are 7-2. They play the quarterback list essentially is New Orleans Saints. This might be a game where the Titans just absolutely dominate, especially having it be at home with the line being only 3 points. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, just I think I mean it seems like they're not taking into consideration their like last 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
because they've played some really great games the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
I mean they just took down the already crowned Super Bowl champion Rams.
yeah.
So I think that's a little bit low. But I mean there's no reason based off of what we've seen, especially the last 2 weeks, there's really no reason for the Titans to lose this game.
No,
There's
there's
no
not.
reason the Saints should win this game.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree there. Uh, Bucks, Washington football team. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. See, that's the thing with the obvious. Like, I mean, the Bucks favored at 9.5. Obviously, you're starting the MVP front runner, Tom Brady. The Washington defense has allowed the second most touchdowns this year to, I think, quarterbacks and wide receivers. From a fantasy perspective, their defense has been atrocious. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that game.
Yeah, no, I mean the Bucks are coming off a bye week, which apparently doesn't really benefit anyone
No, not
recently.
anymore, apparently. Yeah.
I don't think Antonio Brown's playing. I feel like I think I saw a report or something about that they don't think he's going to be back this week.
No.
But I mean they have so many. Oh, and Godwin I think is dealing with an injury.
He
I
missed
think they
practice
said.
today. He missed practice
So
today, suspiciously.
yeah, so I would pay attention to that as far as fantasy goes. I mean, I would assume that the Bucks are going to win. Because it's Brady and look at who they have on offense.
Yeah.
And I mean, their defense is inconsistent, but
yeah.
they did struggle a little bit against New Orleans, but again, divisional.
They always struggle against New Orleans. Though.
It's divisional.
Doesn't matter.
So,
yeah, exactly. All right. Let's get into this because I just saw this and I'm excited, and I'm making a prediction. We're making a Pitts prediction here. The Lions are getting their first win this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. I am speaking it into existence.
I think it's possible because they did not look like the dominant team against the Bears.
No.
So, I mean,
the Steelers
I don't think the Bears are a hot mess. So
the Steelers are a hot mess.
That's what I'm saying. If you barely beat a hot mess of a team like the Bears, then how are you going to compete with any legitimate team?
Oh, totally. No, definitely.
So, I mean, I love it. I don't like the Steelers, so
I'm a big fan of this. I think the Lions are definitely going to win this week just because, they add Josh Reynolds, who please to every football god on, who looks over us, whatnot. The Lions need to win this week praying that Josh Reynolds plays. The defense needs, if there was a week for them to come back and play their ass off, it's this week against a struggling Big Ben. And not only that, someone who's coming back from injury, Taylor Decker, comes back to strengthen that offensive line. I know Penei Sewell is going to move to right tackle, which we'll see how that goes. But, I would start all your Lions. I'm sorry, I would. And then obviously you got to start Deontay Johnson because he's the leading receiver when it comes to targets, and then Najee Harris, and then I kind of just sit back and enjoy because that's all I would trust for players in this game.
Yeah, I don't think I have players on either team, honestly. Besides Freiermuth. How do you actually say it? I feel like you say it different.
Freiermuth.
Yeah,
like vermouth.
But I have him benched right now because Ebron is possibly coming back. So I'm like,
Eric Ebron revenge game.
So I'm just like, I don't know.
Love it.
So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you say, hey, go all in on Lions. I'm just saying, I don't know about either. I don't know if I would. I wouldn't. I don't know about that. So,
Chargers and Vikings in the next one. Oh, I didn't even say what the Lions line was. Oh, Pittsburgh a favorite at 9. Forget about it. At least
no, not after that performance against Chicago. Are you kidding?
No. Chargers are favored though at 2.5 against the Vikings. Talk about your franchises who are just cursed beyond belief.
The Chargers have been really surprising. I feel like
they are a different team.
They did well last week. But looked pretty bad against the Patriots in the week before that. So it's very inconsistent. Same thing with the Vikings, though. They come out and they're killing it, like we were just saying, against the Ravens. But then they stalled and let the Ravens catch up, like just continue to score, take them into overtime. So neither team is dominant. I think it might be a more interesting game than I say that about so many things, but I think it might be a more competitive game.
There it is. Okay. All right.
Than maybe anticipated. But again, like you don't know what Kirk Cousins you're going to get. You don't know if Adam Thielen's going to be in the doghouse again.
He did catch a touchdown, but he did not.
He only got like 8 points last week. I was so mad.
He was not being targeted like he usually is.
I was like, what did you do? What did you do to Kirk Cousins?
I mean, Kirk Cousins seems like he's someone who holds grudges.
He's a weirdo, but still, like Thielen should. I mean, I understand you got Justin Jefferson, but like Thielen is like your dude too. Like,
oh, absolutely.
You utilize both of your good receivers. Come on, and
Yeah.
I don't even like Adam Thielen after he got in my coach's face. Don't like that.
All right, that's
you
that's
remember?
our guy.
Do you remember that?
Kind of.
You don't remember when he went over to Belichick and Belichick was like, shut the fuck up, blah blah blah.
Yeah, kind of.
That was epic, and that was when I officially said, Thielen, no,
not
we ain't feeling you.
There you go.
Thielen.
That's how we make puns here. I would say start everyone's definitely a game where points are going to be on the board. Slam the overs, do whatever you got, and I would play the shit out of Alexander Madison.
I have Thielen in. I mean, I feel like, again, he's another one that every time I put him on my bench is the week he goes off.
Exactly. You can't make
so he'll probably, because I have him in, he's going to get me like 3 points.
Hopefully not.
Me lose.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed there.
But we'll see.
Carolina travels to your neck of the woods to take on the Arizona Cardinals, potentially the Colt McCoy-led Arizona Cardinals, which...
Dude... Do you know how much this?
Boy.
Do you know how much this sucks though? Like,
I know.
If Cam had come back a week sooner,
I know you would have got to go and see Cam. Like, that would have been.
And then if he had to miss that game, then he would have missed the one against the Patriots and then played this game. I would have been like, "Let's go! I'm going to this game. I didn't get to see Cam. Let's go!" Because that was something I was really heavily considering, like flying to a Patriots game this year, and because I wanted to see Cam, and then that wasn't going to happen. So, I think I wasn't planning on watching this game, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to. If Cam doesn't start, I don't think I'm going to. But I think I'm going to watch the Packers Seahawks actually.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be possible the battle of the backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, the Cardinals are favored at 10 points though. What we thought.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's a lot.
If they have Matt Barkley playing, then I mean,
true.
Maybe. I mean, the Cardinals are playing really well, even defensively. So I mean, I feel like I don't know if I like the line of 9, but I think I like the Cardinals.
I like the Cardinals. I like everyone on the Cardinals. Only Panthers I would play CMC and DJ Moore.
I have DJ Moore in right now. I don't love it, but
if he finishes as top 12 wide receiver, I might throw a parade in my honor. Who knows? Seattle Seahawks and Packers, the game that it seems like you're more interested in than the prior one we talked about, because Russell's
back.
It doesn't matter because the Packers are still favored at 3.5. I think if Rodgers doesn't play, it's Seahawks all day and night. However, if somehow miraculously he does, it's going to be a lot closer, and I do believe the Packers come away. So.
But this is the thing with Rodgers too, is based off of other athletes, more so ones I take a liking to, who have dealt with COVID. They would talk about when they came back. I mean, even Myles Garrett spoke about it, that their breathing was off and they had inhalers on the sideline or courtside. If you're talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So it's possible that Rodgers will come back and not play amazingly, because we don't know how COVID has affected his body this past week. If he is clear to go, obviously that hasn't happened yet. But what I'm confused about is I thought that they couldn't clear him until the earliest was Saturday, and I'm like, if they clear him Saturday, you're really gonna have him go on Sunday? Like, I get it's a big game, it's against Seattle, but I feel like it's really quick considering he wouldn't have practiced and for 2 weeks. Like, that's kind of intense, but I mean,
I could see him doing it though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I just 100%. Don't know that it's the smartest move.
Of now, yeah.
I mean, I understand that you didn't love necessarily what you saw out of Jordan Love. However, they did hold the Chiefs to only 13 points. Pretty I mean, that should have been a complete domination. by the Chiefs, and that didn't happen. And Jordan Love outplayed Patrick Mahomes if you look at it statistically. So he can hold his own, and maybe it's a little bit more favorable to him because it will be in Green Bay. And this is going to be the first game back for Russell, which is shocking to me that he's even back. I thought he was going to be done for the year. I didn't think there was any way he would be able to come back with something all messed up in his hand. So
yeah, I would agree there. Seahawks start. Chris Carson comes back this week off of injury. Taking a shot?
No, I don't think
I would
so.
agree there.
I
I would
told you I
agree.
get weary about players coming back from injury. Like, don't
Yeah,
start Russell this
very
week
much.
either. Don't start
Yeah.
Rodgers
Oh,
either.
I would start Russ. Absolutely start Russ.
Mm-mm.
Oh, all right.
Not me. I don't. I just. Who was I right about last week? We talked about this last week.
Did.
You're like,
we did.
there was a player I said not to start, and
No,
I was
do remember
correct.
that. We'll have to
But I
get
can't remember who that
video.
was. Oh,
But
was
yeah.
it Tyrod Taylor? Somebody?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I said don't start him, and I was right.
He was poop. He was terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with the Chris Carson. It just Russ is on another level. So you know, especially with quarterbacks now. I mean, he's going to come out and want to throw the ball as many times as he can. Not only that, I mean, he just is going to. I just with him, it's a little bit different. And then for Green Bay, Aaron Jones, obviously, but I don't know if Devontae Adams, you have to.
Yeah.
Just trying to think, like, you know, with
Aaron
Jordan
Jones
Love.
Aaron Jones was rough last week. I think he got like 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and say sit Aaron Jones.
I wanted to beat him up.
I would love to. But also the Seahawks have one of the worst passing defenses in the league we have to consider. So, you know, if you really need to and you're in a bind, maybe start Jordan Love if you know, are at that position. But other than that, I really don't have any.
DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely start.
Possibly Tyler Lockett.
I said Tyler Lockett. Oh, is he? What's he got? I knew he was some sort of injury report going on.
I don't know. I don't have him, so
we'll find out. We got Philly and Denver to end the 4:00 slate. I am all in on Denver. I am sorry, but the Eagles, I'm going to keep saying this every week, they still do not impress me. Jordan Howard impresses me. Jalen Hurts impresses me. And Devontae Smith impresses me. That's about it. And then as for the Broncos, did you know that? Hold on, I have this data. I need to get this out because I was trying to see if my prediction of Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert being the top quarterback wide receiver duo this season, if it was going to pan out. Spoiler alert, it's not. He's not even the receiver that Herbert's connected with the most because Mike Williams. But I saw this, and this might shock you because of just how unexpected it is, but the most successful combos between quarterbacks and wide receivers this year, Teddy Bridgewater and Tim motherfucking Patrick rank 8th with an expected points of 31.2.
I picked up Tim Patrick off waivers.
There you go. That's how you do it for the brand.
So yeah, very appreciated receiver this year as far as fantasy goes, for sure. No one's talking about him. If it weren't for fantasy, I wouldn't know who he was. Like, no one's talking about him,
which is ridiculous because he, for the past 2 seasons, has been, I would say, the number 1 receiver in Denver because Judy is injured this year. Last year was Cortland Sutton, but who's the guy who's been there both times? And it's Tim motherfucking Patrick.
I think it's just one of those things where if the team isn't winning, the team's not really talked about. So true. Players like him, they just don't care to talk about them, which I think is just ridiculous. Like,
yeah, I would agree.
I mean, if you're playing well, you're playing well. I don't think it should matter if you're on a losing team. It almost seems like, wouldn't that be more impressive if your team is not winning? Like that, like if they're not playing, or you don't think they're playing well just because they have a losing record. I mean, I think that's silly.
Yeah, no, I would agree there. And I had to sit Tim Patrick last week in the 4th and goal league. I still won anyways, so it didn't matter. I'm pretty sure I won. I don't know. But I am obviously going to start him this week and from here on out because he's just been so good. Like, he's just been so reliable. And you don't really hear that a lot out of Denver now, especially with Teddy B as the QB. So, and then for the Eagles, obviously, I mentioned this at the earlier part of the show about Jordan Howard. I picked him up for a reason, and you guys should too. So that's
Yeah, I need to look at that.
yeah, you gotta go find him, girl.
Yeah.
He's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Kansas City and Raiders Sunday Night Football
My
on
two favorite teams.
NBC.
I can't wait.
Derek Carr, baby. He's gonna steer. He's gonna lead them to a win. I'm telling you,
I
Raiders are gonna
sure
beat the
hope
Chiefs.
so.
It's gonna be awesome.
You know,
I can't wait.
I hate when they play Sunday Night Football though. The Chiefs.
Why? Oh, well, okay, okay. I thought you meant the Raiders. Sorry, I love when the
No,
Raiders
because
play
the
prime time.
Collinsworth does not stop. It's like we get it. We get it. You just love Mahomes. You love his speed walking. You love it. You
I love
just think
Mahomes.
it's so great. It's just like it just doesn't stop. Like he does what he does with Mahomes is what people think he or anyone else used to do for Brady. That never happened. It's like what people think, you know, commentators and whatever did with Brady and talked about him. So that's what he does. And it's not what they did with Brady. It's like, it's just, I get so tired of it. And I get I'm biased because I don't like Mahomes, whatever. But I'm like, don't other people get sick of hearing him talk about how great Mahomes is all game long?
No,
I do.
I love it.
I'm so over it.
Because I love Pat Mahomes. He's incredible.
It's only because his name's Patrick too. That's the only reason.
I mean, in that because he literally plays NFL Street in the actual NFL. So, I mean, problem is that he's on the Chiefs and not New England. But I would still start him. Get this though. This is bananas. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'll save it for. I'll save the answer for the goal line stand, but I'll tease this. I was on Twitter and I saw that someone dropped Patrick Mahomes in a dynasty in some sort of league. I think it was a dynasty league I saw. And they picked him up for someone just awful. Just not someone that
another quarterback.
Equal. No.
Oh.
That's what makes it even worse.
Oh, but, goodness.
Yeah, I'll give the audience time to think about that and give their responses and digest that as we tease the Monday night game. Los Angeles Rams are, Monday night, right? I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Rams and Niners. I think the Rams are going to dominate this. I don't think the Niners are that good of a football team anymore. They got their problems with Jimmy G. You know, Trey Lance is playing well in the little spurts that he has. The run game is not the same without Raheem the Dream and Elijah Mitchell at the helm. And other than George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, who else is there to rely on? I mean, Brandon Ayuk fumbled, and he has not been the Brandon Ayuk that people expected this season. So, I mean, I'm going Rams all the way. Start every Rams, sit every Niner, and, enjoy that as your Monday. I don't know. I'm not into the Niners this year at all, and I hear nothing about them. So,
I'm only into Jimmy G. So,
I mean, who isn't? God, those eyes, Mr. McDreamy.
He is just dreamy.
He's on All Team Handsome.
Yeah,
he's on our All Team Handsome.
Just I watched Elite Eats with Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
And even him and Van Noy were talking about like how dreamy Garoppolo is. And I just thought that was funny because I was like, even they know, like,
oh, when he walks into a room, I mean, the smile, it attracts your attention from miles away. It's incredible.
I know.
The problem is that I wish that was the same about his play on the field, but goddamn, he's as ugly as Cousin It. So
poor Jimmy.
God, he needs to go somewhere where he's loved. It's not in the Bay Area, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But, and we get to see Von Miller's debut on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Rams. I think they need to use this as another team. They're another team that wants this as a bounce back game. Goodness.
There you go.
So this is a good team, I guess, to do that with.
Oh, totally agree there. That is our preview of the weekend slate of games. If you did not hear someone that you hoped we mentioned, or if you have any other questions that we may not have addressed, obviously you can reach out to us on Twitter at 4th and Goal USP and at our personal accounts at Pat_Pitts and at SMarshXO. And it's time for the goal line stand. That's right, it is the goal line stand brought to you by Tomahawk Shades. Tomahawk Shades, our OG sponsor here at Fourth and Goal. And they helped us out, so go and help them out by going to tomahawkshades.com, putting in sunglasses, blue light glasses. They got some sweatshirts, they got watches, you name it, they got it. And all you got to do is just put it into your cart and then put in promo code USP at checkout to get 25% off your order, as well as free shipping. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So go and do that for me, please. Go to tomahawkshades.com, put in promo code USP at checkout to get 25% off your order. Tomahawk Shades, stay styling and profiling all football season long. All right, first down. As I get ready for the second down, let's start the goal line stand with, I would say, the stupidest move of the year in fantasy football that I've seen, and I am in a lot of groups. I've seen a lot of stupidity unfold. I saw someone trade DeAndre Hopkins for Stephon Diggs, which it's pretty much trading Poland Springs for Dasani. But the worst move, I teased it already, Pat Mahomes was dropped for Deshaun Jackson, the newest Raider
Okay.
wide receiver. That's why I did not mention him at the start when we talked about it, because how awful is that? How ridiculous is that move?
That's really ridiculous. You don't even know how he's going to play on a new team. Like,
I mean,
he was basically non-existent in LA, so
not at all. He had like one touchdown. That was it.
yeah. I mean, obviously his potential is higher with the Raiders, just given the team and who they have at that position compared to LA, but I wouldn't be going all in like that.
No, I wouldn't either. I really don't understand it. Why that person did that? I mean,
They
I've made
gave
some
up on Mahomes already.
stupid moves in fantasy. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's
there
pretty crazy.
there's a whole, but that's awful. That is just terrible.
Yeah.
And then second down, I just put in my DFS lineup for the night. This will be one of many, and I will post the rest on Twitter after the show. But the first one we got is Lamar Jackson, Jalen Waddle, Justin Tucker, Myles Gaskin, and Rashad Bateman. What do you think of that? So I'm starting Gaskin too, if that helps you.
So what is the question?
So what do we think of that? 1 to 10. How
On
do
a
we like that
scale of,
lineup?
say it one more time.
All right, so we got Lamar Jackson, Jalen Waddle, Justin Tucker, Myles Gaskin, and Rashad Bateman.
I don't know if I love Bateman. I might like Marquise Brown a little bit more.
I'm not a fan of him. I think he's just so overrated.
I mean,
So overrated.
I didn't say that he was a fantastic player. I mean, it's
Amazing.
not awful. I mean, I think Lamar is going to kill it.
Yeah.
Gaskin has the potential to be good tonight. I mean, it's like they're another team that you're just not sure. Like there's not really any player I feel like on the Dolphins that's like a must start every week. It's very much like you go in kind of blind. Like you don't really know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So Gaskin, like you said, is like a safe pick, but he could end up getting you 20 points or he could end up getting you 2. Like you don't really know what you're gonna get from him. So very inconsistent. Yeah, I don't think it's like a terrible lineup, but
all right, so
still
like a 6.5.
Yeah, sure, 6.5.
Okay, thank you, appreciate.
Sorry,
that.
I wasn't following the rules.
Sometimes we Patriots fans don't.
I just like to talk. That's my problem.
Oh, well, you're in the right place because so do I, and so do a lot of people about my opinions. Oh Jesus, you should see the Derek Carr comments I got in that article. Oh my God, I talk about him being just a good person. They're like, he's a terrible leader because you can't beat the Giants. I'm like, all right, I'm talking about is just him as a person.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about football there, but you gotta love people, man. You gotta love how just people read into things. Third down, he's going the distance, going for speed, going the distance player of the week. I mean, it's pretty obvious who my long shot of the week is. It's not even close. The Lions are getting the first win. Jared Goff is going to lead this team to victory. Dan Campbell is going to be feasting on kneecaps at the end of it. I haven't felt this confident about a Lions win since the Bears. And I mean, they shot themselves in the foot. I don't think they can do that twice.
I don't think I feel confident about anything. Like a long shot, I mean. Like
Yeah.
I need to be better about choosing this. I need to come more prepared because I don't have any.
We got some options for you though.
Okay.
All right, so I'll read off some options because I still got the lines in front of me.
Okay.
And I got some teams. I mean, the Saints and Titans. That's an interesting one there. We got, what is the other one? Obviously, Lions, Jets, and Bills. I mean, could the Bills fall to the Jets and Jaguars back-to-back weeks?
I mean, as much as I would love that, I don't see it happening.
Chase Young sacking Tom Brady twice, and the Washington football team getting their overdue win against the Bucs, defending Super Bowl champs. Taylor Heineke revenge game.
No, see, I don't love that either.
What we got? Oh, Philly just winning. That's a long shot.
Okay,
all
Philly
right.
wins.
All
Philly
right,
wins.
that's supporting the brand there. All right, that's your long
The
shot.
only time I'm ever going to say "Yay, Philly" after I went on my rant last week about how much I hate them.
Yeah, I know. Really interesting. But let's end right now. I think we got this. We each have our locks, our safety picks of the week. Says the song. I have to go. My safety pick being. I'm going to stay away from Patriots. I'll let you.
Okay.
Be the person who heads that charge. I'm going with the Colts, and I'm going with Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor. I would say Carson Wentz, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and Michael Pittman. Pretty much the entire offense. Just continuing what they're doing. I just, the Jags. I know they came off that big one last week. I don't think they'll turn it into a win streak, but they'll definitely make it close. I don't think it's going to be the blowout people think. But the Colts are a good team. The Colts are a very good team, very balanced team. Wentz finally has some foot, his feet under him in controlling this offense. I'm all in on the Colts.
My safety pick is going to be Lamar Jackson.
All right. Okay.
He's going to feast tonight. Okay. Or at least I hope I'm not jinxing it.
Please don't. I just put him in my lineup and kind of need money. So
I have him in 2 lineups, so I'm hoping.
I have him in 1 too. So but that's as safe as you can get. The Dolphins have allowed the most yards to any quarterback this year, fantasy wise.
Well, and he's a dual threat. Let's go.
He leads the team in passing and rushing.
Yeah. I wonder who that sounds like. Kind of similar to Cam is what I mean.
I was going to say Russ.
Sure, Russ, but Russ he's not doing that this year.
Russ isn't Superman.
No,
he's not your Superman.
Cam.
He's not your Super Cam by any means. Thank you guys for tuning into this edition of 4th and Goal. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at 4th and Goal USP if you're watching this through the Twitch channel or anywhere else. Also, make sure you follow myself on that was weird. I didn't like that sentence. Follow me on Twitter at Pat_Pitts. As you can see in front of you, and then follow my girl next to me, Sara Marshall at SMarshXO for all your Patriots, NFL, and nonsensical takes. That's what we do here. And then give us a follow on Instagram. All that is coming into fruition, and we are improving that day to day. And then give a follow to our boys down in Philadelphia, Underground Sports PHI. I'm sorry, Underground Sports Philadelphia, the place that allows us to talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, which is just a blessing and a gift, and also sometimes a curse for anyone who disagrees with us. So that has to be a lot at this point. And then, so follow them on Twitter at Underground PHI and Instagram, same name. And then the Twitch channel, which we are going to be live tonight for the Thursday night streams, powered by Pickup. Go and check that out at twitch.tv/Underground Sports PHI, where we'll have the gang all there to, we're going to watch the game or we're going to talk about it. Maybe if big plays happen, but, we talk about other stuff. We have a good time. So definitely stop by if you're into that type of thing. And what else? Follow our Pickup. play pickup _ our sponsor, who they are revolutionizing how not only you bet, but also how you earn rewards while doing so. Go to playpickup.com, make an account, play the headlines, and earn rewards. And then Tomahawk Shades at Tomahawk Shades on Twitter, where you can save styling and profiling for the rest of the year. We're just putting in promo code USB at checkout to get 25% off your order. We will be back on Sunday night. Yes, we got a new schedule of episodes and content coming at you. Starting with Sunday night, Sarah and I are going to be here recapping the games. And then, who knows, we might even throw our way too early waiver wire predictions. All you got to do to be involved is follow us on Twitter. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you Sunday.